What is going on YouTube? Buglugs back now for another awesome video, guys. And today I'm going to give you a flipping guide. I've just made 100% gains, guys. I'm going to attach that video into the top right corner, guys. So if you want to find out how I actually did that, stick around, stay tuned, hit that subscribe button, and here we go. Alrighty guys, so the most important thing before you start any flipping is to determine how much money you want to make, how quickly you want to make it, what your budget is, what items you have in mind. Normally guys, if I ask anyone how much money they want to make, they're going to say a billion, 2 billion, 3 billion, but you need to have a specific number. 100,000 in 2 hours, a million in a day, 3 million in a week. You got to have a specific answer, write it down because you're going to come back to it every time you make a trade. Alrighty guys, so after you've actually determined how much money you want to make in X amount of time, guys, the next important step is to actually allocate money towards flipping. Whether it be 500k, guys, 5 mil, 10 mil, 20 mil, a billion, guys, doesn't matter, everything's flippable. So it's really important that you make flipping sort of a side hustle, not your main income source until you've got a whole lot of wealth, guys, because I see heaps of people do it all the time. Multiple people on my friends chat, guys, on my friends list and the clan. What they do is they end up selling all of their gear, then putting 100% of their wealth into flipping, and then when things don't turn over as quickly as they said, they've got no money to really do anything else. They get a bit, impatient. They start forcing some trades, guys. They start cutting into their profits, and before you know it, they're losing money, flip after flip after flip. Also guys, on that note, if you're actually interested in seeing what actual items I flipped from 10 mil to actually 21 mil, guys, I'm going to link that video in the right hand corner right now. That goes through every single trade I did, how it progressed over time, guys. It took a couple of weeks, so that's there if you want it. But anyway, back to the video. Alrighty guys, so now that we've determined how much money we want to make and how quickly we want to make it, guys, and how much money we've allocated aside to make that money, now we look at what items we could potentially flip. So there's a few ways you can do this. One, you can just test the margins. You buy one instantly and then you sell one instantly, guys, and then you buy what you sold it for and you sell it for what you bought it for. That's one old school way, but guys, you gotta remember that's what everyone does to flip. So you gotta be that 1% that has a different technique, a more effective technique to get in front of the majority of the remaining 99%. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that right now. So guys, the second and more effective method actually goes hand in hand with that first buy low, sell high methodology. Everyone uses it, but this is how you get in front, guys. So you got to monitor things such as game updates. So for example, when I did my previous flipping video, I think I actually named it Double XP Weekend because 3 days into that video, guys, Double XP Weekend, the dates were officially announced, so you can imagine everything all of a sudden goes up 10, 20, 30%. And people think, oh, that was really easy for you then. But no, because I was still competing with numerous other flippers that were trying to make money on the, quick gains. But then simultaneously, there were investors that had been buying and accumulating all of these resources, guys, for the last 6, 12 months that are now dumping into the market. And it's important to remember to understand the two, or be able to determine the two between a flipper and an investor. A flipper is someone trying to make, they'll overturn their flips very, very quickly, normally less than 3 days, where an investor's happy to hold 3 days or more. So guys, if you're a flipper, you're on the right video because I'm going to make an investing guide later down the track. If we now head over to the Grand Exchange on Google, for example guys, Raw Sharks, you can see the price hype there. Mahogany planks, guys, price hype. What's the next one? Blue Dragon Leather, that's another one I traded, guys. It just, the hype behind Double XP Weekend is insane. And the good thing is it's every 6 months. So if you do it well, you can actually make enough money off it to last you the 6 months until the next one. But saying that, in the 6-month down period, guys, because the market may be still trending down, you can still make a lot of money through other people's impatience, guys. So moving along, Uncut Dragonstones. Look at that. It went from 11.4k to 12.5, so easy, guys. That is, you pretty much just have to hold it and you'll make it. Unfinished Lancedine Potions, guys, look at the hype in that. Almost 9 times out of 10, guys, I'm going to get asked this question: why do I only flip raw resources and not weapons and armor, guys? And my answer is pretty simple. So let's take a raw shark versus seismic singularity right here, for example. So a raw shark will come into the game through fishing. A player will then process it, get experience out of cooking it, and then they will sell it to probably a PVMer, guys, who's going to eat that shark, or whatever someone wants to do with that shark. None of my business, guys. But so as we can see, there's always going to be that supply, or so not the supply, there's always going to be demand for the raw sharks. and there's always going to be supply for the cooked sharks. Whereas a seismic singularity, guys, the more people that eventually will end up bossing, the more drops there's going to be, so there's going to be more supply. And people say, yeah, but there's more people bossing, so there's going to be more demand. But you got to think about it. Eventually, everyone is going to have one of these weapons that is still going to continuously be being received as drops. But there's no new players that are starting to play RuneScape. It's decreasing, so the supply is sort of increasing, but demand is decreasing. So that's why, guys, you've seen Drygores, Ascensions, Nosha, Seismic. They're all dropping in price. Alrighty, so I guess an important question is, how do you know when to enter a trade? When is it a good time to take a position, guys? So pretty much I'm going to look at mahogany planks here. This was just prior to Double XP weekend being announced. So as we can see, from May through to June, the overall trend was up. I'll even put the trend line in. So the overall trend was gradually up, but if you look here to June 28th and June 28th and July 1, you can see the price went down, hit 826. I'm going to call that support. It then bounced up, guys, hit 829, which is resistance. It then dropped again to 825. Here's the important factor. The first line of support was 826. The second line of support was 825. And the thing is, those numbers were very, very close together, which showed there was enormous buying pressure under it, guys. So that's why when Double XP weekend was announced, for example, you can see the large spike. If it was just Double XP weekend by itself, it might have only, risen to 895 or 856, somewhere in there, guys. But because there was already strong support identified previously, that's why we saw, it shoot to 933. And it's the same thing, guys, when a price is rising. So you can also look for double tops. So what we saw there as a buy opportunity was a double bottom. It hit the same price twice. It was really, really close to each other. So if we come back, guys, same mahogany planks, July 15th to July 18th, we can see it went up to 859. It did its thing, and it came up a few days later to 863. So there's like a 4 GP difference there. It's the same price. We can show, well, it shows us a lot of sellers, guys. So I call that a double top. That means there's pressure going to be pushing it down shortly. And sure enough, guys, it went down to 825. So that's how you can make a lot of money really quickly off this approach. So you sort of just, you identify double tops and double bottoms, guys. It's normally a good idea to always trade things in a slow trend up, because if things really do go pear-shaped for you in 1 to 2 or 3 days, guys, you can possibly hold it for up to a month, not even that, 2 to 3 weeks normally, and you can normally actually make some profits still. Another perfect example, guys, is trading the trend. So I'm going to use my good friend Mahogany Plank again. It's doing everything for me today. If we come back to April 25th and we look at May 25th, trading the trends is probably one of my favorite things to do, guys, purely because it's so easy. So you can see there's no real way to guarantee it was a bottom here at the 25th, unless, like I said before, it was a double bottom, but it wasn't. So anyway, you'd probably just be monitoring it, and you'd see it start to increase in price very, very quickly. So what you do, guys, is you say, oh, okay, I might take a small position, and you'll see it run. And the key note for it to break, guys, it had to break 812. If it broke 812, chances are it's turning around, it's going to go back up, because 812 was the previous high. So when it hit 811, I would have been really watching it. 813, that to me would have been right. I had a small position, let slowed up enormously, it then went up to 817. But here's the thing, guys, I bought, say I loaded up $100 million worth at 813 GP, I would have, in my head, said, alright, or probably, actually I would have written it down, but I would have had a discussion with myself, right, if it reaches 805, I'm happy to take that loss, but anything more than that, no go. So if it hits 805, I'm going to sell my whole position. So let's say 805 was my target. If it hit that, I sold, and if not, I just let it go up, and I'll ride it, see how long it goes up for. So hit 87, so it didn't hit my sell price, so before I know it, guys, it bounced back up. And like before, guys, 817 was the key to break this time. So 815, 818, bingo. So it's still got momentum. It's still got momentum in the upwards direction. Look, guys, double top again, 824, then went down, back up to 824. To me, that would have been a sell indicator. And sure enough, guys, dropped to 806. So now this is where it gets a little bit more complicated if you can understand it. So the overall trend line is this blue line. So what happened, guys, it's normally a good indication if you can see it's in an upward trend like this. If it normally gets back to that blue line, or you somehow can manage to get it below that blue line, it's normally a good time to buy, because it's in an upwards direction. Chances are it's going to go back above the trend line. So as we can see, guys, if we bought right there at 806, smack bang on the trend line on May 15th, what's that going to be? 3 days later, it's worth 845. We can see it hit another little bit of resistance there. It did break the key level, so to me that wouldn't have been a sell. However, the price would have dropped back to 831. If I had more money, possibly go, this could be a good time to buy. Anyway, guys, before we know it, it skyrockets again, breaks that key level of 847 as it goes through 841 up to 855, and then I would have been watching it very closely. I guess he would have seen 860 and be like, cool, could be going higher. And then when I saw it drop to 856, I would have gone, okay, I'm going to watch it very, very closely. And then 847, guys, I would have sold. I was like, right, this is going down, I'm going to sell. That'll close this trade. Profit. So there you go, guys. If you was really switched on, you could have made some money from, well, you could have started to buy in around 794 to 707 and then walked away, guys, with 856, 847. Alrighty, guys, so that is how you trade, I guess, in the short term. It's pretty easy. Take plenty of practice. Just go through charts, guys. Go onto your own exchange. Just sift through charts. Sometimes I'll do 100 charts a day, 100 items a day, guys. But don't forget, if you want to see the items I actually flip, guys, I will relink that straight into the description as well as the right hand corner again, guys. So I hope you really enjoyed this guide, but until next time, guys, stay tuned.